The Non-Experts podcast was made possible by KCLC and Lindenwood University.
However, the opinions expressed on this show do not reflect those of the university.
Are you a writer? Do you want to get recognized for your work? Well, Lindenwood's literary journal, Arrow Rock, is for you. That's ARROW Rock. Send in your creative work from short films to pictures to poems to art to short stories, whatever you would like. To submit your work, visit arrowrockjournal.com. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/nonexpertspodcast.
Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your smartphone, tablet, or Kindle. That's www.audibletrial.com/nonexpertspodcast.
Listen, what you did to those two Nimrods back there was great.
Yeah, well, I just don't believe in winning through intimidation. Plus, of course, I'm doing the intimidating.
Winter's coming.
You were born in the long summer. You've never known anything else. But now winter is truly coming. And in the winter, we must protect ourselves.
Well, well, well. Brothers Jonas, together again at last. I bet you've got a few things to say to each other, huh?
Not really. We had lunch last week.
I said silence!
I'm Romero.
And I'm Chris.
And we're the non-experts.
We're not therapists.
Or lawyers.
Or firefighters.
We don't have any licenses or degrees.
So join us as we talk about news and pop culture and say whatever we want.
Because we're the non-experts.
Howdy, Romero.
How you doing, Chris?
Hey, doing okay. You know, it's, we're getting, well, it's midterms for me. So, yeah, we're about halfway there, but not too bad so far.
I tell you what I don't miss.
Mm-hmm.
Midterms. It's kind of nice being a free man.
Don't. Yeah, I bet you don't. Yeah. I'm also sick of this cold weather. It needs to... That groundhog was a liar.
Alexa, play Katy Perry, Hot and Cold. One day it's snowing, the next day
right,
the snow is melting away, and you just need a hoodie. But 2 days ago you needed a coat, a hat, and mittens. It's up and down, hot and cold. I don't understand.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
But alas,
yeah.
Carry on.
All right. Well, we are starting off on a little bit of a sad note. Luke Perry did die from a stroke this week. You know, of 90210 Beverly Hills fame. He was also he played the dad on Riverdale. That's right.
Yeah.
I think the sad part about this is that they're working on a reboot of the original cast of Beverly Hills 90210. I don't think he was one of the confirmed ones to actually be involved, but you know that they would have had some sort of cameo or something like that.
Right. They usually try to figure out some type of way they can work you back into it. Mm-hmm. Even if it's just like, oh, that was the guy at the coffee shop. Wasn't that Luke Perry? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. And he was still young, too. I mean, he was just in his 50s, you know?
It's a shame when you see people so young die of something that, like, I guess we think of certain things as only happening to older people, like strokes, heart attacks, but that can happen to, like, any person.
Yeah.
And so it always catches you by surprise, like, man, he's so young.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate. So if you're a big 90210 or Riverdale fan, I feel for you this week. That's got to be rough.
Yeah.
And his family, of course.
So on a little more positive note, in the entertainment, the Game of Thrones Season 8 trailer was released. It's the final season of Game of Thrones.
Yes. Winter is here, I think.
Yes. And also, I think, what do they call it? Like the White Walkers or something like that are finally, like, you finally get to see what they look like.
Oh, yeah.
And they do that whole thing. I am not a huge Game of Thrones person. Like,
missing out.
I've seen, like, bits and pieces. Am I missing out, really?
No, I honestly, I can't have a valid opinion. I've never watched long spans of it. The closest I got to watching a full episode, one day I went to visit some family and my cousin was watching it. So I sat down down with him on the couch, and I was like, man, this is actually really cool. And it was, I won't give away what happened in the episode because you may not be at that point as a listener or you yourself.
Right.
But it was like a really pivotal moment in the series at that time that kind of changed the course of what's to come. And I was like, oh, this is good. But like, I just never had the strength to go back and watch all of it to catch up.
I think what turns me off to it is it's not really my favorite genre. Like, I've never been like a huge like fantasy, like castles and dragons kind of person. I think if the story's compelling enough, which it sounds like it is, I could be interested in it. But I mean, I know somebody who has like every single season, so maybe I'll just
can I just
watch
borrow
it.
these?
Yeah. And I'll catch up. Maybe I'll watch season 8 because based on the way the trailer looks, like you can tell it's going to be like big. It's going to be epic. There's going to be lots of stuff going on. It's the last season, so they got to tie up all the loose ends, all that stuff.
My biggest issue was if you tell me about a show and they're like about to start season 3, I'll hop on the bandwagon. I'll try it out. You're about to start season 8, like. That's a lot of catching up I'd have to do. And that's what stopped me from going back. I really do want to go back because my friends that like watch it all the time say it's really good. And like my cousins as well. But it's like 7 seasons.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And these aren't like little 15, 20-minute episodes.
They're like hour-long episodes.
I'm like, man, that's a lot of watching. Like I won't be done until the time season 8 is probably finished. Like it'll be, I don't know. But yeah, it looks good. So if you're a Game of Thrones fan, be ready.
Winter's coming.
It's coming. It is upon us. Listen, Chris.
Yeah.
We're in 2019 right now.
No, we're in the year 3000.
We're getting. I think we are there.
We're there. We're there.
Not much has really changed.
But we live underwater.
And your great granddaughter is sure to find something like that. Anyway, back in the day, you may remember if you are in your 20s or maybe a little older, Disney Channel used to have music videos during their programming occasionally, and there was this great band known as the Jonas Brothers. And the Jonas Brothers are making a comeback.
Yeah, it's technically their second comeback because they tried to come back before and it didn't really work. Which was my whole issue, was like, how can they break up if they're brothers? You know what I mean? Because they're like, the Jonas Brothers are breaking up. Like
you see each other like
they're
all the time,
related.
probably.
Right, yeah, it made no sense. But yeah, I think I don't know, because last time they tried to make a comeback, people were like, oh yeah, it's like really great, and then it didn't happen. So I think it's a little too early to say for this whether it's going to work out or not.
It's going to work.
It seems to be positive, like from people who have been listening to the new track. So
right, I think it'll work, and I think they picked a good time because Jonas Brothers are like early 2000s, right? And there's actually a lot of early 2000s like hip hop and R&B artists they're doing a tour right now. Actually, it's called like the Millennium Tour or something. So people are like digging up all this old music that they used to love when they were like younger, or some people that was when they were in high school. Yeah, and so they're going to go see it. So I'm pretty sure Jonas Brothers. Yeah. There's got to be people out there that also like miss that time, or there's a billion like fangirls. You go to your friend's house and she's got Jonas Brothers pictures everywhere. So there's definitely going to be some people that are excited if they do like a little mini tour or something. I guarantee you they will sell, because nostalgic things like that, especially like for people around our age, that's our childhood, So it brings back really fond memories. So there will definitely be people that will check it out.
Well, I think that they've spent a good amount of time, like kind of each individually being able to kind of shed off the Disney
Jonas
Channel,
Brother, Disney Channel look.
Yeah, so and people I think realize now that they're grown-ups now. Yeah, not that they weren't grown-ups before, but it's kind of like they have disassociated from Disney Channel.
We're not that anymore,
right? They're serious artists now, and that kind of thing. So
I just hope I hope that this opens the window for the Naked Brothers band to return. Only the real ones know about the Naked Brothers band.
I want Hilary Duff to make a really good comeback because she tried just like the Jonas Brothers and people were not ready for it or wanting it. So Hilary Duff needs to make
Honestly, how many Disney Channel like related musicians really end up making it anywhere? Like Demi Lovato, I think is probably the only one you can think of.
Yeah.
Ariana Grande is Nickelodeon. Like, but aside from that, usually those people that have those roots, it seems like they don't ever really make it far.
And especially Disney Channel, because Disney Channel tries to like lock them down and be like, "You're going to do this forever."
With us now.
And a lot of them, the only music they ever did was for like the Disney Jam CDs.
Yeah.
It was never like I wrote this song, and they're like, "That's cute. Here's a song we want you to sing."
Yeah, that's nice and all, but we need a new Disney album out, so get to work. I don't know.
Here's an
best of
old
luck.
like Disney song that you're gonna make a terrible cover of.
Right. Best of luck to Nick, Joe, and
Kevin.
Yeah. Ooh, sorry, Kevin. Maybe that's why you need to reunite, because people don't know who you are anymore,
Right.
Kevin. I don't know. That's unfortunate.
Poor Kevin Jonas.
Alrighty, so if you actually don't live under a rock and have any sort of social media or internet connections, I'm sure you've heard about this whole Momo situation. First of all, what do you think of it? Have you like looked it up to see if it was real or anything? Or?
I looked one up in preparation for this podcast. It's one of the creepiest, like weirdest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I guess I don't get it.
So did you actually see like a video with it like doing the alleged things?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, myself on the other hand, right, and this just might be the African-American in me because we don't joke around with this type of stuff. We get anything that seems like borderline demonic or like magical, we're like, nah, I'm good. I'm not bringing that in my life. I'm not opening the window for these demons.
Right.
So I didn't even look it up to see if that was like a factual thing. But anyway, apparently Momo, for those of you that don't know, pops up in like children's related videos and things like that and tells them to do things like stick a fork in the socket or like light a match and don't tell your parents or you're gonna die or something like that. So it's like a feared like thing telling kids to do stuff, and that's dangerous because little kid brains are sponges and they don't necessarily know how to separate Peppa Pig from Momo popping up in the middle of the Peppa Pig video or whatever. So that can obviously be a very dangerous thing. So definitely watch out for that if you have kids or young people in your family. Yeah. If that is a real thing, I will never really know. So Kim Kardashian is warning people about it as well. I think, I don't know. I guess it's important. She does have 3 kids. Yeah. Her sisters have kids as well around the same age as her kids. So it definitely is important and probably something close to her.
What annoys me, though, is that, YouTube is kind of just, they're not really doing anything about it because they're like, well, there's no, like, actual evidence of it, like, on their site. Well, that's because they don't want to waste time, doing that. Yeah. And it's like, well.
I'm sure if you looked, you'd find it.
Right. Exactly. If you, like, took, like, 5 minutes, or even like just a Google search because they're owned by Google.
Right.
Google search it, you will find it because I was able to find it. But I don't, because they want to worry about other people like with copyright strikes and all that stuff. Yeah. But then there's like actual videos that are telling kids to like do these dangerous things, and
Tell
YouTube's like,
kid to kill yourself.
There's no evidence for it. I'm like, really? You found the 2 seconds of like a Britney Spears song in a video?
Thank you. I got flagged for copyright because you could see an NBA game in the background, and they flagged me like as soon as I posted my video. You can find that immediately, but there's something out there telling little kids to kill themselves or like set fire to their homes, and you're like, oh, well, we can't find it. Clearly it's out there because I doubt somebody just made this up.
Yeah.
And if they did and people are running with it, you all are ignorant idiots for really falling for it. But it's obviously it's there.
Yeah.
Like somebody has seen it, and that's why it's a whole thing now. So for that to be the excuse of, well, there's no real proof. We can't really find it. Yeah, you can. You can.
Yeah.
You just don't want to try. So anyway, Kim Kardashian is warning YouTube to take those videos down.
I mean, she's got to find something to do.
Yeah, well, when you get tired of sitting at home making money for doing nothing. No, I'm kidding. I want your life. But when you have that type of voice, I guess, in that platform, you feel like if anybody can try to get them to do something, it would be you. So I appreciate her at least trying to use her notoriety for that type of cause. Because like I said, she's got 3 young kids. There's other young kids in her family, so if anybody would be worried about things like that, it'd be somebody that's a mother and has young kids around them. But I don't know. That's just sad. It's a twisted world we live in. For somebody to even create something like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay off YouTube for a while. I'm afraid of Momo.
It's a good idea.
We're just gonna take a quick break here, Chris, and this is for you.
Mm-hmm.
Not you, Chris, but you, the listener.
Okay.
If you are interested in audiobooks, I've got a heck of a deal for you, my friend. Check it out. The Non-Experts Podcast, as you know, is sponsored by Audible.com, and they are offering a free audiobook download with a 30-day free trial to give you the chance to check out some audiobooks.
Wow, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so
That's
me,
nice.
myself,
Yes.
I plan to check out Kevin Hart's most recent book, I Can't Make This Up, Life Lessons. You've probably seen it. It's a picture of him and some little cute puppies. But his audiobook is actually done by him, and it's available. So I'm definitely going to check that out pretty soon. What are you thinking about?
Well, I've been trying to, because a couple summers ago I started reading the Steve Jobs biography, and it's really long, and so I kind of gave up. And I'm thinking about reading it, only, like I said, it's really long. It's really hard to sit down and actually, pay attention and read. So I think I'm going to, use Audible and listen to the audiobook. It's read by Dylan Baker. He's kind of a semi-famous actor, but, it's still a voice. Still reading it to you. So
Very true.
Yep, I'm thinking about, Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson.
So make sure that you, again, make use of this free audiobook download and 30-day free trial. There's tons of books to choose from. I'm sure if you have a favorite book, it's probably available. Where can they find this download, Chris?
They can go to audibletrial.com/non-expertspodcast.
Check it out. So, Chris.
Yes.
You own any Vans by chance?
I own a few that look like Vans. They're not official, Van shoes. I was never really a Vans person.
So what you're telling me is if you were to go home and throw them, they're not going to land face up because they're not Vans.
Nope.
Well, I tell you what they would do if they were Vans. They would land on the sole of the shoe, remaining face up.
Yeah.
That's the alleged rumor that's going around with the viral Vans challenge. Yeah. If you throw the Vans, they always land face up. Ooh. I don't know. I don't own any Vans, so I can't try it.
Right. I think it's coincidence.
Yeah, I feel like probably most shoes, if you just randomly threw them, they'd probably end up balancing themselves out that way.
Well, yeah, because the sole of the shoe is heavier than the other part.
Especially a shoe like Vans, or even probably Converse, the sole is the thick and heavy part. The shoe itself is like canvas.
Yeah, and it's flat.
Yeah. I don't understand it. I think that you probably could do this with most shoes, like you said. But I thought it was kind of funny because people are obviously making their videos. I had a friend who sent my group chat some videos on Snapchat the other day, and he was throwing his Vans. He was in his basement, just chucking them against the wall and stuff. And he was like, nope, doesn't work. Maybe mine aren't real, I guess, because they're not landing face up. It's well, first of all, it's because you're throwing. The idea is you toss them or something and they land. But I just thought it was hilarious. He's throwing them at the wall and forcefully throwing them at the ground.
The videos that you're seeing are obviously the attempts where it actually worked.
Right.
You don't see the ones where they,
It's just like the bottle flips.
It is like the bottle flip. I hate those videos so much.
I think the bottle flips made me angry because I used to do that all the time. But
when
we were kids, there wasn't internet to record everything. There wasn't viral videos. So it was just little dumb stuff you did in your free time that entertained you. And then 10 years later, internet sensation bottle flip. Kid, I was doing that before you were born, all right? You're not cool. I can do that, all right? I was probably flipping my shoes too, okay? Making cat faces, all the weird stuff that people do online now. Yeah. We did that for fun because we were weird little kids without cameras, but now it's you're a viral sensation.
Well, I hate that everything is a challenge, you know what I mean? It's the bottle flip challenge or the Vans challenge. Why does everything have to be a challenge? It's stupid. it's for people to waste time doing stuff. Like, go do your homework.
Get a job.
There's a math problem waiting for you to solve. Like, just
X still doesn't know what it equals, and you aren't helping him find his purpose in life right now by flipping your vans. Honestly, Chris, let's just be real with ourselves. We're both bitter because we don't have vans to flip.
Yeah,
I think that's the core of the issue.
That's the truth.
We don't have vans to flip, so we can't confirm or deny, and we can't participate in the challenge. And I think that hurts us.
Yep.
So if you have vans, good for you. Try it out and let us know if it works. If you don't have vans, join the bitter non-van club. We're taking applications.
All right, so Florida promises to just get better and better each week with a more bizarre story. This one does not involve death. Finally, we had a few
risque.
Yeah. This one's just plain just weird and funny.
Sounds about right.
All right, so I'm going to read the headline. Man arrested for using Play-Doh to, quote, fix damaged cars, is the headline.
Okay.
All right, it says a Florida man was arrested in December, so this has been a while, for allegedly defrauding car owners by promising to do bodywork on their cars, but then merely patching them up with Play-Doh. Nicholas Johnson, 33, of Port Richey, Florida, was charged with retail theft and scheming to defraud, according to a local news report. He reportedly roamed around his neighborhood, scouting out for cars that needed bodywork, then offering to fix them. Johnson then allegedly used Play-Doh to make it look like preliminary bodywork, promising to return the next day, which he never did.
First of all, this guy is smart, all right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
But dumb at the same time.
Yeah, also an idiot. Here's the thing. In the modern, times that we live in, you're going to jail. You're not going to get away with this. Like, you can't try to scam people anymore because it just doesn't work these days like it used to. Like, we're just going to find you and report you to the police, and then you're going to jail, as the kids say, period. Like, it's a wrap. You're not going to get away with this. But that is kind of funny, though. That's funny. He's just got, he just walks in, Target and buys a whole bunch of gray and black Play-Dohs. And they're like, why is this grown guy buying so much Play-Doh? And he's like, little do you know, I'm fixing cars.
The weird thing is that he's just walking around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, like, hey, need your car fixed?
Hey, dude, I can fix this. I saw you had a problem with your fender. I can fix it. Totally. I can fix it. And you're like, okay, sure. He's like, Play-Doh.
What's funny is that
green Play-Doh.
It's body work. Like, it's not like, like under the hood stuff. It's like just a slab of Play-Doh slapped to the side of your car. It's like, fixed.
Imagine he just, he lays it on there and he's got one of those little tools they use when they're laying brick. So he smooths it out real nice. And, so it looks... It looks like a fix, but you're sitting there looking like, okay, this is well done, but this is Play-Doh.
Right. I can smell it. It smells like Play-Doh.
I can smell that this is Play-Doh, and this clearly won't last. If it rains tomorrow, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
You took a lot of time to do this, but why are you trying to scam me?
Right.
You're going to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Florida just never ceases to amaze me. No. There's cons, there's crazy people, there's weirdos just all over this wonderful country and this wonderful planet. But I tell you what, Florida, you were in a league of your own.
I seem to gravitate towards Florida.
It just seems like the melting pot of all types of strange things. I don't even know really what to call these people. If you live in Florida and you consider yourself to be a normal or sane person, feel free to look into other options such as Montana, Carolinas. If you want to stay on that coastline, move upward east, or just go straight to Georgia, and you can still be kind of close to that.
Right.
Go out to L.A. Just stay away from crack and things like that, and you'll still be a normal person with a similar climate. But Florida it's not safe for you there. It's not. Just stay away. I don't even think it's a tourist destination anymore.
No.
It gets too weird. I don't want to even go anymore. It's just too weird.
Okay, so it is my turn to ask you a really deep question.
Yes.
Something that, may not have thought of before. I think this one's a good one. I don't think it's too deep, but, we could really, get into this one. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. What do we do now that will be looked at as primitive or backwards in 100 years? So it'll be
Probably-
2119.
I was hoping for the year 3000. And they'd be living underwater, and they were like, those weirdos lived above land. Above sea level. What is wrong with them? I would say something we do now that would be viewed as primitive. Probably like jobs that require manual labor. Because everybody's thought is, robots are going to replace us all, or we're going to find more efficient ways of doing it. So you were actually out there digging holes, Neanderthal. Like, what is wrong with you? And, just like little manual things around the house, like washing dishes or sweeping or mopping. Like, that is beneath me. I'll have my robot do it. My little robo vacuum just goes around the house and he cleans everything. My indentured robot servant does all of my work. I couldn't imagine cleaning my own windows. That is blasphemous. So I feel like it'll probably just be manual things. I think that's the thing that we look at as, oh, that was so primitive. They did it this way.
Right.
Because that's all it is. We have a more advanced and easy way of doing it. So we're like, oh, I can't believe they used to have to do it that way.
Right.
They used to have to carry around a gas lamp. So primitive. We have bulbs. I flip switches and my lights. They're just everywhere. You can't carry multiple lanterns. It's like, I feel like it'll just be something that technologically advances.
This was kind of the first thing that I thought of, and I don't even know why, but I think something like grocery shopping. Because think about like groceries are kind of like food items are kind of the only thing that we still go to the store for. You know what I mean? Almost everything else you can get on Amazon or order online and have it show up to your doorstep.
And groceries are starting to get that way.
And that's why I'm thinking that, because you could just order your groceries online. They could show up to your door, or a robot can drive a car to to your house and deliver them to you. And I saw something that was really interesting, and I think they're gonna try and incorporate it in like Japanese major cities where you basically drive up in your car. They have like a moving rack of common groceries, and you can kind of scroll through it, and it'll move down kind of like a rotating belt.
Yeah.
And you can go along, grab what you need, put it down on a horizontal conveyor belt, and it'll go down to where you pay for it. So you just keep putting items, what you're looking for, boop, 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 down the conveyor belt. Then you drive down to the end of the conveyor belt. It has your total ready to go. You pay for it, you get the bag, and you drive off. So it's like a drive-through grocery store.
Wow. That's interesting. And you think even fast food places now, you can every fast food place is starting to have an app, so you can just walk in and be like, thank you, and walk away. Or you've got Grubhub, DoorDash. They'll just bring it to you. And then so there's just a lot of things. I think honestly, people will look at the way we watched movies and television. Because the way that they're trying to develop virtual reality things, if that really does take off and the technology presents itself, I think they'll be like, they used to sit there in their living rooms and watch this on a screen. And they used to pay money to go to these concerts and games and these theaters. Because you can the NBA now, they've got virtual reality. You can sit at home and you're sitting courtside.
Right.
You're sitting courtside. Sorry, I turned my head to demonstrate. You're sitting courtside, and you can turn your head left and right and follow the pace of the game as if you were sitting there at the game. So if they really start developing that technology on other fronts, I feel like it'll only be a matter of time before you can possibly do that for a concert or something.
Right.
You pay X amount of money, and you don't have to leave your home. You don't have to pay for event parking. You don't have to deal with a lot of people, but it still feels like you're right there at the concert, things like that. So I think entertainment will develop to a point where they'll be like, they paid for this.
That's so crazy to me.
That's
insane. Just thinking about that being a possibility.
Yeah.
It's
ridiculous.
And and I've tried virtual reality stuff before. And I've always I have a hard time suspending my disbelief, because it's oh, I still feel the thing on my face. I know I'm not there or whatever.
Right.
But I think it's going to get better and more immersive, and that's going to be weird.
I forget what video it was, but there was some weird video I was watching. It might have been Andrew Allen Smith's class. What was the name of that class? We all took it. Anyway, so you know what class I'm talking about. But you remember the guy was like in his living room and I think he had like in some contacts or something and that was how he was viewing things. Like the possibilities that could be reached with technology are insane. And it's definitely a scary thought. So I think that if the technologies and everything really do develop to the way that we think they will, that a lot of the things, like just normal things we do now, will be viewed as primitive. Yeah. Like I think we even look at like, you know, we grew up in a time frame where you couldn't use the computer and the phone at the same time, you know, and I feel like kids later started to grow up like, what? You couldn't do that? I can't believe they had a house phone. Who uses a house phone? Yeah. You know, so I feel like it'll just be like normal everyday things that we did that people will be like, I can't even believe they did it that way. Yeah. That's ridiculous. It's weird, man. It's weird watching all this stuff. Because like I said, growing up in the middle of the 90s, you grew up right in between the old ways and the newer stuff. Yeah. So you're growing up as internet is developing and coming along. You're growing up as cell phones are becoming more prominent, and you saw the first smartphones. You remember being like having to stop playing your computer game so your mom could talk on the phone. And now it's like none of those things that we grew up with matter. Little QWERTY keyboard things and little slide phones. They're like, they came and went so fast, and now everything is touchscreen. Everything is wireless. Everything is Bluetooth. Like, it's weird to watch. Yeah. So if it really does develop, it'll be even crazier to see. Mind blown for the week. That's bomb of the week right there. That is bomb of the week. Technology's getting crazy and robots are coming. People just wait. Yeah. Aliens. Huge. All of it. Just wait for it.
How funky is your chicken? How loose is your goose?
What?
Have you seen that? It's from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So they're one of the cheerleaders cheers. It's how funky is your chicken? How loose is your goose? Our goose is totally loose.
If I don't hear this somewhere at the end of this episode, I will be sorely disappointed.